So recently I had an opportunity to go check out to see Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I was very looking forward to this movie because I'm a big fan of the first movie, and I liked Ant-Man and the Wasp, the second installment, but not as good as the first one. And I'm a big Paul Rudd fan. Now, I was very sold on the trailers. I thought that they were going to add something a little bit different. They wanted to be more spectacle and a little sci-fi and a little bit more of Avengers level threat. Now, I'm going to give you my positives right off the bat. I thought Paul Rudd is incredible as usual. I mean, he can do no wrong because I'm a big Paul Rudd fan. I love Scott Lane. I thought her and Cassie, the character, I thought their screen time together was pretty good. I thought some of the action scenes and the visuals were pretty decent, but not the greatest. And I thought Jonathan Majors was the true standout of the movie as Kane the Conqueror. They really did a great job of the introduction of establishing his backstory and where he came from. Even though that we kind of knew who Kane was when we saw the other variant of Kane from Loki's season finale, but I thought this version of Kane was way more ruthless. He was literally on the Darth Vader level villain, and they really made you believe that he is the next MCU threat as much as Thanos was from the Infinity Saga. And that's pretty much all I can say for the positive note. On the negative side, I thought that the writing was a big mess and all over the place. And it did not feel like they are letting Ant-Man have its own story and have its own movie. It felt like that the writer and the director, Peyton Reed, which I still think he's a very good director, but I just felt like that the movie itself tried to rely on too much setup for the future of the MCU movies with Kane, with the setup of Avengers Kane Dynasty and possibly Secret Wars. It was like their own biggest priority, and they did not let him have his own movie. And some of the jokes, even though I laughed at some of the few jokes, but there were some of them were a big miss that I rolled my eyes the whole time. Not the whole time, but most of the time. And I wanted to love MODOK. But I just did not like this character and how he was handled in the movie. The moment he starts to unmask the human form of the face, it just looked like they just stretched out his face from the CGI, and it looked very like jarring and cringed. And at the end of the day, I still liked it for what it was. It's not a movie that's going to change my life. It's not going to be on the level of No Way Home or Avengers Endgame. But at least Spider-Man No Way Home, they let Tom Holland have his own story arc to play. And even though that you brought in Toby and Andrew, it didn't matter. You still let him have his own movie. And that's the problem with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, that they did not let that happen. But overall, it's still a decent movie. And stay for the two post-credit scenes because those are very important. And I still think you should go out and see it and form your own opinion. And